Hello. So once again, another random and spontaneous video talking about the topic of non-duality. As usual, there's no script. A thought just pops up to make a video, and I just grab the phone and click record, and there seems to be a video happening. For those that have watched the last two videos, when I was walking in the park, it seemed though I was mainly talking about beliefs, and it seems to be a popular criteria that people are interested in. Criteria, that's not the right word, is it? It seems that people are just, I wouldn't say triggered, are challenged by their beliefs. Yeah, there's no judgment here, it's just not the way. I don't judge anyone. If judging happens, then that happens, but there's no intention to do it here. There is no doer, so that's why I said if judgment happens, it's just what's happening. There's no one here doing anything. So if you are new to the videos, I'm just talking about, I'll say realization. It's not a realization because there's no one to realize it, but just talking or exposing that there is no self. So that self character, that person that you believe is inside your body, is an illusion. It's not there. So there's no one inside your body. This is not a belief, by the way. It's a fact. You know, you can open up a human body, dissect it. You will never ever be able to find a me character. So that person that you believe that you are is just a belief, and all them stories of your imagined story, your imagined past, they're not housed inside your body. All their memories are not stored in a memory bank, in a storage cabinet inside your body somewhere. That's just ridiculous. So where do the thoughts and the memories come from? Why do they appear? So that's what's being talked about here. I mean, people call it radical non-duality. I mean, here now, there's nothing radical about talking about the simplicity of what is. And what seems to be happening is what is. You know, there's an appearance that's here. This is it. This is what's being pointed to. This oneness. It's inescapable. There's no outside of this. There's no behind this, or inside or outside of it. There's just this. I mean, I like calling it timeless immediacy. because it's immediate, intimate, it's always here. And if you look for time, there is no time. Time is just a complete phantom, a mental construct, a made-up construct. But the me character doesn't want to hear this, because you want to feel special, you want to be seen, you want to be loved. You want things. You cherish the story of your past, or despise the story of your past. And you think there's going to be a next. You think there's something after this. Now all of that is an illusion, because it all appears only as a thought that you believed in. So this is why I said at the beginning of the video, it seems that people are so identified with beliefs. That seems to be, I always say the biggest illusion is the illusion of time. But all beliefs need time in order to feel real. But if you look in direct seeing, can you find any stories here in this right now, or any beliefs? Without thinking, without thoughts or ideas or imagination, what's here? I don't want to kill anyone's dreams or beliefs. I don't even know why these videos are happening. It's become clear now that life lives itself. This is all automatically happening. There's no one moving your body. There's no one moving this body. That's the illusion. That's a belief in a thought that's late. It always appears late. The thought always comes afterwards, and then you believe in it. But the body moves by itself. Breathing's happening by itself. Blinking of the eyes. Blood pumping around the body. As if you're doing that. You're not doing any of that. Moving your hand, walking, talking, scratching your face. Sorry about that. I had a pop-up on the phone and it stopped the recording. I forgot what I was saying now, but I think we were talking about beliefs. Yeah, I've completely forgot what I was saying, so apologise. So I don't want to say there's anything right or wrong with beliefs, because it's just what's appearing to happen. But they're just beliefs. Somebody inboxed me the other day, sent me a message the other day asking if I believe in Jesus Christ. And I tried to be, polite, and explain that, what's being shared here is not a belief. if anything, it's exposing that beliefs, that's where a lot of the suffering comes from, identification in beliefs. I mean, the biggest identification in the belief is the identification that you exist. That's where most human suffering comes from. Thoughts. Thoughts can be seen for what they are, and they are not what they claim to be. You know, this appearance that's here now is completely still, silent. It's always here. It's untouched, unmoved. And yes, a thought can appear. A thought can just spontaneously arise. But then if you look for the thought, it's not here. You might have heard me say that nothing's happening, or other speakers say that nothing's actually happening, and that's what we mean when we say this. So a thought pops up of a memory of your past, but it's not happening here now. You know, I'm not saying that the thought is happening outside of this immediacy. Totally the opposite. Everything happens in this now, timelessly now. So a memory of the past did not happen in the past. There is no past. There's only this. So all that mental, psychological mess, that identification with the thought that causes stress or worry or anxiety or sadness or depression, is an illusion. It's not actually happening. So yeah, I think I was saying, somebody inboxed me, somebody sent me a message asking if I believe in Jesus Christ. And as I said, I was explaining that what's being shared here is not a belief; it's the exposure of beliefs. And this person was disgusted in me because I didn't believe in Jesus Christ, which is okay. You know, there's no getting triggered here, because it's no one's fault. You know, if somebody's been, I don't like using the word brainwashed, but that's exactly what's happened. You know, if somebody's been innocently brainwashed, it's not really their fault. They've just been heavily conditioned, and they think, and they really believe that story is true, and they hold on to it dearly. And, you know, I spoke to this person a little bit, you know, a bit of message tennis between us. And, you know, it turns out that this person was brought up with a mum and a dad who are heavily religious Christians, and that's the reason why she believes in Jesus Christ. And, and I said to her, you know, had you been brought up in a different country with a different family, and you'd never even heard the word Jesus, would you still believe in Jesus? And she was saying yes. I said, well, how? Because you've never heard of Jesus. That was the last time I heard from that person. You know, and I don't want to kill people's beliefs or I mean, it's not me doing it anyway. It's just what's happening. But I just thought I'd share that because all beliefs is just believing in a story that you think is real. Just like the story of you and your life. You've been heavily conditioned to believe that you are that character. Again, there's nothing. I'm not saying there's anything right or wrong with it. It's no one's fault. No one's to blame. It's just what seems to be happening, and it seems that the majority of the world is fascinating. This is why I love talking about this. It's fascinating how, and it happened here. You know, I was completely identified with this Gavin Brooks character for 40 years. Through heavy conditioning, you know, and it all starts at, you know, around the age of 2 years old, when, you know, you're constantly being told your name, you know, and how old are you, what do you want to be when you grow up, and, you know, that's how the me character creates its realness. It's all thought based, all of it. It's all a thought belief. So going back to this that's here, what is this aliveness that's here? It's brand new. There's no time here. This is always brand new. It's always on. Where are the stories? Here, right now. It's all in imagination. Imagine story time. You know, I wouldn't beat yourself up for believing in the story of you in your life, because it just seems that this unknown existence is playing that game. It seems to want people to be identified with this illusory self character, and that just seems to be what's happening. And I don't know why it's happened here, and it has happened to others, but that illusion can be seen through as a thought belief system, because that's all it is. It's a relief. When this is seen clearly, it is a relief, and it's a lot more relaxing. You know, I'm not saying that any sort of uncomfortable thoughts or feelings can't arise here anymore. They can, and they do. That's what they do. That's what thoughts and feelings do. But it's just that belief. It's just seeing through it over and over again each time, that there is only this here, and that thoughts that arise within this are not actually happening. You know, I'm sat down now in my room at home, and there's just this. There's the wall, the table, the window, body. That's it. There's nothing else. Now, in the past, when I was completely identified with this Gavin Brooks character, I could be sat here and I'd be fucking exhausted, believing in all the thoughts that are arising, shit that's happened in the past, all the worry and stress about things that's going to happen tomorrow, None of it's happening. This is timeless. This let's call it awareness, whatever. This immediacy that's here. This is all there is. There's nothing else. The thoughts that pop up are not happening ever. That character that you've been conditioned to believe you are is not here. It's never been there. So when that's seen clearly, there's no problems. There's never, where would a problem be? Can you actually find a problem in this immediacy? Without thinking, forget the thoughts, if there's no belief in the thoughts, what's the problem? What's missing from this timeless immediacy? You can't add anything or remove anything from this. It's just what is. It's just as it is. So yeah, that's what's been shared in these videos, and I don't know what else to say other than, I just wish that it's just a fantasy, but I just wish that humanity could see through the illusion of the thought belief system. Past, present and future is an illusion that's appearing now in this immediacy, this timeless immediacy. But the me character can't hear that. I'm guessing, but most people that are watching this can't get that. They just can't understand. You can't really understand it. You can't really get it. That's how powerful the imagination is and the illusion is. And I don't know how else I can explain it to cut through that illusion. I'm not trying to teach or give advice. There's just talking here that seems to be happening. But if you can just see, not that it's you seeing, there's just a seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. This is it. There's nothing else. The psychological suffering is brutal, but it's also hilarious. It can be both. It can be brutal if it's believed in, but when it's seen for what it is, it's funny. It's you can have a laugh with it. It's quite you don't take life seriously because it's not happening. And this is not a denial. I've got no reason to escape my story, or on the surface, let's talk in the story. On the surface of it seems like I've got a decent life, and I'm happy and healthy, and got two amazing healthy boys and a lovely wife, and got a good job and a car and whatever, house. I'm not trying to deny or escape the story by going around telling people that you don't exist and the story is a load of bullshit. And it's just a fact. Yes, there does seem to be an illusion that's being played out. And I don't know why it's happened here, but that illusion can be seen through. And it's not a choice, and it's not an achievement, and it's not special, because it's just what is. But what I would say is that it can bring a lot of relief and relaxation. But that's not to say that shit can't go wrong, or, well, if you want to label it right or wrong. As I said before, uncomfortable thoughts and feelings can still arise, or difficult circumstances might happen. You know, a road traffic accident might happen, an illness might happen. It's just what's happening. So I feel like I was getting ranting on a bit there. So, what are you without the thoughts of the past or future? Where are you without the thoughts of the past or future? The me character dies in this immediacy because it's not here. If you think you want no self-realization, or you think there's a no me state, well, that's a complete delusion. That's the biggest illusion ever. What's being shared here is that this that's here, well, you're not here. There isn't a you. This is not for you. That was one of the biggest surprises here, when glimpses seemed to happen when I was a seeker. It can be devastating or disappointing when it's realised that what you're seeking is the end of the one who's seeking. And then you realise there was never a seeker there. There's never been a character there. There's never been a seeker. There is no seeker. There is no me character. There are no stories here. And I say it's a relief because, you know, I said before, I was ranting on about, you know, I'm not trying to escape, you know, my life or my situation or anything like that. That's not what's being intended to be shared here. I say it's a relief because you're not only just seeing through you and your stories, you're seeing through the others and the others' stories. But not only that, on a wider scale, like historical stories, conspiracy stories, news stories, all the shit, all the stories just fall away. And the relief in that, I mean, I can't even describe that. It's immense because, I mean, here anyway, the seeking, it took up a lot of what seemed like most of my day, seeking and trying to find out truth. And I can only think there's a relief and a relaxation because of the end of all that seeking. Because there's really nothing to find. It's always been here all along. It's always been this. So this that's here was the same, it's the same this as the memory of you being a 7-year-old girl or boy. Now the memory of you being a 7-year-old girl or boy didn't happen in the past. It's a thought that's arising now in this, the same this. It's always this. There's not another this. There's no time. I mean, I suppose believing in the thoughts or not believing in the thoughts is the same thing. It's always this. But there just seems to be, I can only describe it as like a distance between the thoughts now. There's just no, they don't hold power or they don't hold a grip anymore. You know, if a thought arises here about a pile of work that I've got to do, you know, in the past that would cause me a lot of worry or stress or thinking I need to crack on with this. I'm going to run out of time. I need to get this done. But that is a complete illusion. Excuse me, turn that off. The work phone. You cannot be anywhere else. That's an impossibility. That's just a thought, a belief. Whatever seems to be happening cannot be any other way. It's just appearing this way. And there's nothing that you can do to change this. That's where suffering comes from. It's you wanting this to be another way. That's an impossibility. So I'm just grabbing a drink. So if you're looking for something other than what is, you can't find it. There isn't anything other than what is. If there was something other than what is, where would that be? You know, this is where the imagination, thoughts, ideas and fantasies really become strong if they're believed in. what's been noticed here now as well is that any thoughts that arise have got the exact same value as any objects that seem to appear in this appearance. It's just that you believe in the thought more than you believe in other appearances. Nothing's happening. Nothing's ever happened. Nothing can ever happen. Because it's only ever this. See, this that's here can't go anywhere. And it hasn't came from anywhere. It's just completely still. There's no gap in this. There's no off switch. You know, there's never a moment when it's not this. And then, oh, now it is this. It's always this. However it's appearing. Whatever seems to be appearing. I can see why a lot of people call it a joke when it's seen, you know. You know, again, there's no judgment here, or it's just not the way. But especially when I see people rushing around now. I mean, rushing can appear to happen, but the psychological mess that people get themselves in and thinking they need to be somewhere. I mean, I suppose it's just what's happening. Or the psychological mess that people get themselves in when they really want something that's not here. They want something that they can't get. I mean, that does cause suffering. Again, there's nothing wrong with a desire or wanting things, but the outcome doesn't matter. I mean, it'll matter to you. That's the illusion. This is whole and complete. Always. Always has been. Always will be. Well, yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I feel like I'm short on words today, so I'm not sure that was... I don't really feel like that was a good video, but I'll just post it anyway, and it doesn't matter. But yeah, thank you for being here and watching. Again, I don't even know why the videos are happening. Hope it resonates, and again, I'm not a teacher or I don't really give advice, but you know, if I can help in any way, then I would do that. But yeah, thank you for watching and subscribing and donating to the channel. And yeah, hope you have a nice day. Thank you.